Government corruption has never been more prevalent or caused more harm. It's why extremism is on the rise. It's why the financial gap between the haves and have-nots has never been wider. And it's why our planet is at risk of an extinction level tragedy. That's why I need your help to keep exposing the truth about the rot on both sides of the aisle. Become a supporter or a friend of the show today by clicking on the coffee link in the description box below. Friends of the show join me on a Zoom hangout once a month, and you guys can ask me any questions you want, and I can get to know you better. But the most important reason to help is to keep the show alive. Together, we can and will save our country and our planet. Thanks in advance and enjoy the show. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Plants and Politics. So as I've shared with you guys, Dominion Voting Systems and Smartmatic have each sued various people, also news outlets, for pushing Donald Trump's election fraud fairy tales. And each of these people, these corporations, they've all begged the court to toss out multi-billion-dollar defamation lawsuits. They're so sure that Trump won and that the election was rigged that they're trying desperately to wriggle out of these lawsuits. Because, yeah, that makes sense, right? I mean, here's their chance to get into court on a high-profile case and show the world that all of their election fraud evidence was real. You know, they can use the courts to collect all of this information that they say Dominion and Smartmatic are hiding. And they can prove that they rigged the election, right? But no, they're like, nah, that's okay. No, I'm not really in the mood. It's okay. We're good. So a few of these blatant Trump TV liars were back in court just recently. It's kind of flew under the radar because there was so much other news coming out, but they were once again trying to dodge accountability. They tried to say these cases need to be tossed, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you would think they'd want to at least get to the discovery period, right? And collect all their evidence that they say they don't have. Well, to say that it didn't go well would be an understatement. In a ruling on Dominion's lawsuit against Newsmax, the Delaware Superior Court Judge Eric Davis wrote, quote, "The complaint supports the reasonable inference that Newsmax either knew its statements about Dominion's role in the election fraud were false or had a high degree of awareness that they were false." And the judge cited Bill Barr's statements regarding the absence of election fraud evidence. And he went on to write, quote, "The fact that despite this evidence, Newsmax continued to publish its allegations against Dominion suggests Newsmax knew the allegations were probably false. Although Newsmax ordinarily would not be required to investigate further, there were enough signs indicating the statements were not true to infer Newsmax's intent to avoid the truth." And Judge Davis said that this was a, quote, "bad omen for Newsmax." So the same judge was presiding over Dominion's lawsuit against Fox News, or is presiding over that lawsuit, also Fox Corporation, and his ruling wasn't any better for them. So not only did the judge refuse to dismiss the lawsuit, as with the Newsmax case, but he also indicated that the owner of Fox, Rupert Murdoch, might personally be liable in this matter. Judge Davis noted in his ruling, quote, "Dominion cited in its suit a report that Rupert Murdoch spoke with Trump a few days after the election and informed him that he had lost." The judge also mentioned that according to Dominion, Murdoch urged other Republicans, quote, "not to endorse Trump's false theory about Dominion." And while all of this is going down in this court, U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols was slapping down a similar dismissal request that was filed by OAN, that's One American News Network. They had a defamation case against them that was brought by Smartmatic. So OAN was also trying to dismiss that case. They said, you know, oh, this is based on the grounds that it's filed in DC, but our headquarters are in California, so they don't have standing here. Well, Judge Nichols issued an 11-page ruling that also sounded like a bad omen. He denied the request to dismiss the case. And he wrote, quote, but for OAN leasing television production studio and office space, advertising its programming and promoting its network with guests, OAN's allegedly false and defamatory statements would not have made it on the airwaves. Oh, that's going to leave a mark. And I realized something when I read that comment. Judge Nichols has presided over numerous January 6 cases, and he's been on the lenient side in sentencing these defendants. I now think that he blames the people in power far more than the boots on the ground. I think he looks at the January 6 defendants just as patsies in this whole thing. You know, people who were just lied to, they were used and then thrown away. And he's not wrong. I mean, they do have agency, they have free will, but they were wound up like little toy soldiers and then pointed in the direction of the Capitol. I mean, we just learned that over again. That lesson was learned again this week. You know, I mean, Trump literally knew they had weapons and he pointed them towards the Capitol anyway. And this was all based on lies. You know, I also think that Fox is concerned about these defamation suits, and that's why they're now airing the January 6 hearings. It's probably why Fox hosts, I mean, at least the daytime hosts, are starting to be honest about what went down on January 6th. You know, they're now talking openly about Trump's fairy tale. So, you know, for instance, following one of these hearings, Fox host Martha McCallum said, quote, it is very compelling, and the lack of evidence is the huge, stunning, clear moment here where these people are saying, look, I supported you. Please give me something to work with. And it simply doesn't materialize. So they're all starting to talk like that over there. I believe they're trying to cover their asses now to some degree. I also think that they're trying to gin up support for someone else. They see Trump as the sinking ship finally, but they're also trying to allow their nighttime hosts to continue spewing bullshit. So they're trying to play both sides. Anyway, guys, I will let you know when I hear more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.